Hook. 0 to 1 o'clock. You're about to dive into one of the most shocking missing person cases in recent history. It's a story that will leave you on the edge of your seat, wondering what could have happened to a beloved mother and grandmother. As we speak, it's been 61 days since Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Savannah Guthrie, vanished into thin air. The investigation is ongoing, and the FBI is working tirelessly to track down any leads. But as we delve deeper into the case, you'll realize that nothing is as it seems. In fact, the most shocking moment in this case is yet to come, and it will change everything we thought we knew about Nancy's disappearance. The FBI has just received a new ransom note, and it's about to blow the case wide open. But before we get to that, let's start from the beginning. Intro. 1 o'clock to 1:30. Welcome to Archive of Enigmas, the true crime channel where we dive deep into the most baffling cases. I'm your host, and today we're exploring the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more content like this. Now, let's get started. Chapter 1. Background. 1:30 to 4:30. Nancy Guthrie was a 65-year-old grandmother who lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood. She was a kind and gentle soul, loved by everyone who knew her. Her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, is a well-known journalist who has been using her platform to raise awareness about her mother's disappearance. On the day she vanished, Nancy was last seen walking her dog in the neighborhood. Her family reported her missing when she failed to return home for dinner. The police launched an investigation, but as the days went by, the trail went cold. The only clue was a suspicious person seen lurking around the neighborhood on the day Nancy disappeared. But who was this person? And what was their motive? The police are still searching for answers. But as we'll see later, the key to solving this case might lie in the digital evidence. And that's where our story takes a dramatic turn. As we're about to find out, the FBI has just discovered a cryptic message that will change everything. But before we get to that, let's take a closer look at what happened on the day Nancy disappeared. Chapter 2. The crime. 4:30 to 8:30. Let's take a deep breath and go back to the day Nancy vanished. It was a typical Wednesday evening, with people returning home from work and school. The neighborhood was quiet, except for the sound of children playing in the park. But as the sun began to set, a sense of unease settled over the community. Nancy's family started to worry when she didn't return home for dinner. They called her phone, but it went straight to voicemail. The police were called, and soon the neighborhood was filled with squad cars and search parties. As the investigation began, the police found a piece of paper on the ground near Nancy's house. It was a ransom note, demanding a hefty sum of money in exchange for Nancy's safe return. But here's the thing, the note was written in code, and the police had no idea who could have written it or what the code meant. The FBI was called in to help decipher the code. And that's when things started to get really interesting. The code was linked to a Bitcoin wallet, and the FBI was able to track the blockchain in real time. But what they found was shocking. The Bitcoin wallet was linked to a series of other wallets, all of which seemed to be connected to a mysterious figure known only by their online handle. And that's when the case took a dramatic turn. The police were getting close to catching the kidnapper, but they still had no idea who they were or what their motive was. And that's where our story takes another surprising turn. Chapter 3. Investigation. 8:30 to 12:30. The FBI launched a high-stakes investigation into the Bitcoin ransom notes, using a team of crypto tracers to track the blockchain in real time. They were able to follow the trail of digital breadcrumbs, which led them to a series of IP addresses and online personas. But every time they thought they were getting close to the kidnapper, the trail would go cold. The police were working around the clock to follow up on every lead, But it was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. They were searching for a ghost. A person who seemed to be always one step ahead of them. The FBI was using every tool at their disposal, from surveillance cameras to social media monitoring. But the kidnapper seemed to be always one step ahead. And then, just when they thought they were getting close, the kidnapper would send another ransom note, taunting them and leading them on a wild goose chase. But the police were not giving up. They were determined to find Nancy and bring her home safely. And that's when they received a new lead. A cryptic message that would change everything. The message was a simple text, but it was enough to send shockwaves through the investigation. And that's where our story takes another dramatic turn. Chapter 4, Aftermath, 1230 to 1430. As the investigation continued, the community was left to pick up the pieces. Nancy's family was devastated, and her daughter Savannah was using her platform to raise awareness about her mother's disappearance. The police were working around the clock to follow up on every lead. But it was a difficult and emotional time for everyone involved. The neighborhood was on high alert, with everyone looking over their shoulders, wondering if they were next. The police were doing everything they could to keep the community safe. But it was a challenging time. And then, just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, the kidnapper sent another ransom note. This time, it was a video, showing Nancy being held captive. The police were shocked and outraged, and they vowed to do everything in their power to bring Nancy home safely. But as we'll see in the next chapter, the case was about to take another shocking turn. Engagement, 1430 to 1500. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. What do you think happened to Nancy Guthrie? Do you think the police are getting close to catching the kidnapper? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more content like this. We'll be back with more updates on this case as it develops. Chapter 5, Twist, 1500 to 1700. But just as we thought we were getting close to the truth, the case took another shocking turn. The FBI received a new lead. A cryptic message that seemed to come out of nowhere. The message was a simple text, but it was enough to send shockwaves through the investigation. The message read, "Look again at the family." The police were stunned. What could this message possibly mean? Was the kidnapper trying to say that the family was involved in Nancy's disappearance? The police were baffled, and they didn't know what to make of the new lead. But as they started to dig deeper, they realized that the message might be more than just a red herring. It might be the key to solving the case. And that's where our story takes another dramatic turn. The police started to investigate the family, and what they found was shocking. But that's a story for another time. Outro, 1700 to 1730. Thanks for watching Archive of Enigmas. If you want to stay up to date on this case, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We'll be back with more updates as the investigation continues. And if you have any theories or thoughts on the case, let us know in the comments below. Until next time, goodbye.